This video will dig a little deeper into the approach we took in overcoming the barriers that faced our students with complex needs in learning about coding. We looked to the principles of Universal Design for Learning, or UDL, to tackle these challenges. Our goal was to support all students, including those who have complex learning needs, in both inclusive settings as well as special education settings. Here is how the principles of Universal Design for Learning guided our process. To ensure we incorporated multiple means of engagement, we included ideas and materials to assist teachers in planning and preparing students for coding. To address multiple means of representation, we designed lessons, strategies, and materials with a wide range of learners in mind. We offer instruction using multiple forms of media with supports for individual learners. We're deliberate about building and activating background knowledge so that students can connect what they already know to new learning. We know that learners differ in the ways that they can navigate a learning environment and express what they know, so providing options for action and expression is essential. To help prepare students for coding, we might use a social script or narrative that helps them understand what will happen during coding lessons, who will be involved, and what may be expected of them. This helps to reduce anxiety and gives them the confidence to try something new. We are careful to provide supports for both receptive and expressive communication, such as picture-supported vocabulary cards, and communication supports, such as core vocabulary, as well as specific coding vocabulary. To help students to acquire new information, we designed detailed lesson plans that include clear incremental steps and scripts. This supports both the teacher and the students. Instructional slides guide each lesson as we carefully and thoughtfully develop each concept. Lesson activities are provided in both digital and print formats. Teacher and student tip sheets provide guidance, reminders, and prompts for important collaboration and problem-solving skills. A range of scaffolded supports are used during application. Our goal is to ensure that all students have a way to actively plan and show their thinking during coding activities. We want to build independence in all our learners. For example, individual copies of the control panel and blocks in Cubeto are provided for students to plan their sequences. An activity in Clicker 7 or 8 allows students who may not be able to use the Blockly app to plan a sequence with parameters using alternate access. That way they too can plan their code independently. Colored bracelets and stickers are used to remind students of their left and right. Symbol-supported activities help students as they examine and make observations about the unique characteristics of cubelets. Blockly blocks are organized on an eTran to allow students using eye gaze to be in charge of choosing the blocks they wish to use in their program. Each curriculum guide contains all of the lessons, a lesson overview, a scope and sequence that maps out all of the coding concepts that are covered. Ideas are provided to ensure that all students are active participants in every lesson. We've included an examination of the accessibility of the robot in each curriculum guide. We've also included examples of the materials teachers and students will use in Debugged and provide an explanation of their function and implementation ideas. Here's a close-up of each scope and sequence. You'll notice that each coding kit begins with lessons that ensure an understanding of foundational concepts, such as robots, directionality, and categorization. Here are the concepts, both foundational and coding, covered in Cubeto. This application allows teachers to cover the early coding concepts for young learners. The coding lessons for both Cubelets and Dash and Dot cover a greater scope and sequence, based on the complexity of the applications themselves. The scope and sequence helps teachers understand the different concepts that are addressed and in which lessons they are covered. Every lesson in each coding kit follows the same predictable format to support both teachers and students, and follows the best practices for developing conceptual understanding in students with complex needs. Teaching all components of the lesson as they are laid out here ensures that students have multiple opportunities to learn about and apply each new coding concept. In the bin, you will receive a wide range of materials to support lesson instruction and student practice and application. You can expect that some of the materials will be seen in all of the debugged coding kits, such as student feedback forms and some of the posters and left-right bracelets found in Dash and Dot, and Cubetto. The AAC includes the same core vocabulary, but the fringe vocabulary is specific to each application. Here are some more examples from the different coding kits. Vocabulary cards. Printed Blockly blocks are used during planning for Debugged for Dash and Dot, while in Cubetto, planning materials include the control panel, the map, command blocks, and target cards. In Qublets planning cards are provided to students. Student reference pages support different aspects of each application, and materials are provided with different levels of scaffolding to ensure that teachers can meet the needs of a range of students. While Debugged covers a significant number of coding concepts, we felt it was important to make sure that we establish, not assume, a solid understanding of some foundational concepts. In Dash and Dot, we focus on what a robot is and what they're for, directionality, especially left and right, and categorization. Not all curricula share the same foundational concepts, however. In Cubetto, categorization isn't required, and in Qublets, we replace directionality with a section for design and construction. Let's look at a couple of examples of those foundational concepts and how we develop them. The first lesson in all three coding kits deals with the foundational concept of what is a robot. We use video to engage students and to get them up and moving. We play a game that involves one person directing and the others following those instructions, like a programmer who codes a robot. We've been sensitive to the fact that the students involved in these activities may be young or could be in high school, so we've provided ideas for both younger and older students. Another foundational lesson for Cubetto and Dash and Dot focuses on developing an understanding of directions, specifically left and right. To do this, we activate and build knowledge by exploring a GPS that provides driving directions and participating in unplugged activities. We support them while they practice and apply with reference cards, arrows, stickers, and bracelets. In Qublets, where moving right and left do not apply, one of the foundational lessons focuses on the principles of construction. After laying this important foundation, we move on to new coding concepts. Here's how we do it. In our curriculum for every robot, we're always deliberate about anchoring new learning with a skill or experience students may already have. Each debugged coding kit contains instructional slides to guide this type of instruction. Here's an example from Dash and Dot. When teaching about conditionals, we begin by providing real-world examples of the coding concept. Then show them what the concept would look like in Blockly for a sequence for Dash and Dot. Here's an example from Cubetto. When teaching the concept of functions, we begin by helping students identify a repeated pattern. We pull out the part that repeats and show them that this part is called a function in Cubetto and can be represented using the function block. In Qublets, we help students understand the concept of weighted averages by comparing the data flow in Qublets to the strength of a Wi-Fi signal in their homes. Then we show how this flow of information, data, looks in a Qublets robot. A UDL approach helps to overcome the barriers posed by many coding applications so that all students can code.